The driver for the Achievement for All programme was my inquiry into SEN and parental confidence. I found when going around the country that there was just not enough focus in schools on outcomes for children with SEN, and we could see from the national figures they were falling dramatically behind. We also found that parents really weren't involved enough in their children's education. So we founded Achievement for All as a pilot to look at how we could dramatically improve outcomes for children with SEN and also make sure that parents had a much bigger say and a much bigger contribution to making sure that their children could be successful.
We piloted the Achievement for All programme in 450 schools and then evaluated that to see what the results were, and the results were so striking that the government has decided to roll that programme out nationally, and we're putting £14 million behind that to make sure that every school gets a chance to be part of this great programme.
The outcomes for the 28,000 pupils who were engaged in the pilot from 2009 to 2011 have been absolutely amazing.
The results from the Achievement for All pilots were hugely striking. We saw children really dramatically improve in English and maths, sometimes more even than children who don't have special educational needs. So real dramatic improvements, and not just in terms of their academic achievement, but also their confidence and their willingness to go to school. Lots of schools that had reported persistent absenteeism found that that was dramatically reduced.
The biggest change is her attitude towards the schooling. I used to get such grief from her about going to school, not wanting to go to school, not interested in what she was learning at school, and it's completely turned around. She comes home from school, she's buzzing about what she's learned, she can't wait to tell me about everything, you know, and it's an absolute pleasure seeing my daughter engaged again, where I was really worried about her before.
I think as a school we've become more aspirational for our students. I think when we saw our students working so effectively alongside the mainstream students, that made us look at other courses that might be appropriate for them and for their learning needs, and also to develop more personalised learning for them. 3 of our students have recently started attending the mainstream school to take GCSE art classes and are learning really well alongside their mainstream peers, and next year we'll sit there at GCSE exams.
The impact of Achievement for All has been huge. 2 years ago, attendance was 89%, is currently 96%, so it's now above the national average. Persistent absence 2 years ago was 12.5%, and it's now 0.9%. And outcomes for students with SEN are now 44 percentage points above what FFTD says we could reasonably expect them to be. And in fact, the performance of the SEN pupils this year exceeds the performance of non-SEN pupils 2 years ago.
A lot of the questions that were being asked as part of the Ofsted framework around achievement, around teaching and learning, around behaviour and safety, fitted exactly with the Achievement for All framework.
First and foremost, they can expect to have a coach who will sit alongside their own school champion, who will be hopefully the head teacher, if not a delegated member of the senior leadership team. And that school champion will work with the school in a needs analysis, will provide continuing professional development around the key elements to do with leadership, parental engagement, teaching and learning and wider outcomes, and to assist with data collection in terms of pupil progress. And that is for a minimum of 2 years.
The programme is bespoke to your school's needs. The needs analysis means that this isn't some sort of generic approach that has been applied to all schools. It is very specific to the needs of your school and your children, and that's really powerful, and that's what really makes a difference. You look at your school, you look at what you're doing well, you identify what you need to build on and improve, and Achievement for All is all about maximising a school's efficiency.
Achievement for All is probably the most focused and yet the most flexible programme that I've ever been involved with. So it brings the focus of a wealth of expertise about things that really do make a difference, and yet you have the flexibility to put that into your own context with a network of people who can support and advise you on perhaps the best ways to take that forward. But it's about making a difference in your school for your pupils, and that is what makes it so attractive.
So Achievement for All is a whole school programme, even though it's focused on pupils with special educational needs and disabilities. And that's where we see the true benefits coming through.
Oh, I would definitely recommend it for everyone. I think it should be a thing that's taking place in all schools, anything that can benefit Alana. And we tried so many different things along the way with her and nothing seemed to work. And the way that this just completely turned everything around, it was absolutely brilliant. So I would definitely recommend it to other schools.
I definitely recommend Achievement for All. Anything that involves a parent with their child's education has got to be a positive thing.
I would recommend Achievement for All to other schools because I think it helps you really focus on the key needs of the SEN children as individuals, but also as a key group.
And I say to you, if you're a head teacher or a teacher watching this and you're thinking, actually, I'd really like to improve my practice in my school. I know that I have young people with special educational needs who are just not achieving their full potential. Get involved, join the programme. You really will see the results and you'll be glad of it because you'll see the results right across your school, not just for those young people who have special educational needs.
Achievement for All has a long-term future ahead of it. We are aiming to reach 6,000 schools over the next 3 years, but what we've built is a model that is self-sustaining, so it'll go on and on from there, reaching more and more schools across the country.
The long-term future for Achievement for All is that we would like to see it in all schools across the country. Why? Well, Achievement for All is a whole school improvement programme, not just something that's relevant for children with special educational needs. But for children with special educational needs, it allows the school to have a real focus on improving outcomes for those children. It allows the school to have a much better relationship with parents, involving them more in their children's learning. It helps improve bullying within the school, reduce absenteeism within the school, and it gives the school a real chance to look at what they're doing across the whole range of special educational needs teaching.